This video will show you how to find the smallest, largest sum and average. In particular, this assignment asks you to generate x random integers between 20 to 50, where x itself is a random number between 10 to 15. You're supposed to find the smallest, largest sum and average of all those numbers generated. Okay, so first of all, how do we generate random numbers in Python? Well, you have to import random. So the easiest thing to do is you say from random import randint. What randint will do is generate random numbers for you. So the first random number needs to be x, which is between 10 to 15. So x is equal to randint from 10 to 15. And now this is going to determine how many random numbers I'm going to create. So I'm going to make between 10 to 15 random numbers. How am I going to do that? I'm going to use x in my loop. So from I in range from 0 to x in steps of 1. So what am I saying? I'm saying create a variable I, which is going to change from 0 to x in increments of 1. So if my x is 10, the values of I are going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So, yeah, if you wanted to check that, I can show you. So a quick print, let's go x equals x, and we can have a look at this. And the problem is, we haven't finished this yet, so let's comment it out. So, capital X. One more time. So there you go. So X is a number between 10 to 15. There it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this X to create a loop that happens X times. And I'm going to show you print I equals, and then I'll show you the values of I, and you'll see that for I in range, not from 4. Okay, check. So there you go. For an x of 15, you have values of I from 0 to 14. So in other words, x controls how many times the loop happens. So every time the loop happens, instead of showing you this message, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a second number, and that second number, according to the assignment instructions, needs to be between 20 to 50. 20 to 50. Okay, now, and then this time, why don't I just show you these random numbers, number and equals quote comma. Okay, so I'm going to show you all these different numbers on the same line separated by comma. There you go. Okay, so this is 11 random numbers that I just generated, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tell it, okay, we're going to make a variable smallest, and we're going to make that variable smallest equal to the first random number, whatever that random number is. How we're going to know what's the first random number? Okay, first random number is when I equals 0. So if my I equals 0, then I'm going to say variable smallest is equal to that first random number that I generated, right? So I'm basically telling it, okay, smallest is equal to this number. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it, okay, now else. So what does the else mean? The else means this is basically true for all other numbers after the first, right? So otherwise, so this is if it is the first number, right? So that's what this is telling it. Now otherwise, so basically we're telling it if it is any number after the first, right? So in other words, if we're looking at any of these numbers here, okay, that if it's one of those, and one of those, if one of those numbers is less than my smallest, then smallest is going to be equal to that number. Okay, so one more time. If any number is smaller, that is your new smallest. Okay, let's see if it works. We're going to do a print smallest, and I'm going to show you smallest right there. Okay, let's throw a little equal sign in there and check. And smallest value is 21. Why don't I show this on a new line? Backslash and in front of this. And there you go. Smallest is 27. Okay. And largest is found similar to this. All you have to do is just flip the sign around to find the largest, and then you'll be able to find the largest. Okay. So that's a simple exercise that teaches you how to find smallest and largest. Now, how do we find the sum of things in here? Well, the easiest thing to do is just say sum equals 0. Make a sum variable equal to 0 before the loop. And then every time you make a number, you're going to say sum plus equals that number, right? So add every number to the sum, right? Add every number to the sum. That's known as accumulation. And then if you wanted to, you can see that. There's your sum equals sum, and then check, and that should be the sum of so now we're problem line 10. Where's line 10? Num. Okay, yeah, it's not plus num, it's plus number. These things happen when you write code. So there you go. Sum is 367. How are we going to find the average? Well, the average, right? Print average is simply your sum divided by however many numbers you had. Okay? So there you go. That is how you do this particular problem. You still have to do the largest. So please complete that and let me know if you have any questions.